Welcome to Sky Heiser coverage, the 2020 Seviren Lang Memorial FPO Final Round Lead Card. My name is Ethan Jones. I'm here with local team prodigy player, Stevie Becker. Say hello, Stevie.
Hey y'all, what's going on? Excited to be here and do some commentary for these women.
Awesome. There was a look at our sponsors there. As we get ready to look at the scores, we have a tight race at the top. Deann, Christine are definitely battling for that fourth spot, but it seems to be a three-lady race after 2 rounds.
Yeah, there's a lot of strokes to be had at Lapping Park. Each hole can propose a challenge.
That's absolutely correct. And we have drone clip footage provided by GK Pro. We're going to be starting on course hole 17. It's 330 feet. It is severely to the right, so you'll see a lot of forehands. It's still a green that is on an uphill slope, so it's very hard to access. Some of these ladies have great forehands, though. Courtney kind of getting out to that collection area where that creek is. You'll see a lot of shots end up there, but a good gap hit on the first hole.
These all look like pretty decent shots, giving them a chance at getting up and down.
Yeah, Jessica's a little tight on that one. We'll catch a tree, but it's a pretty good kick as far as getting up and down for par. Deann with the lone backhand, also a little bit early. Looked like she took a little bit of a kick to that side as well. Couldn't quite see where that ended up. Jessica going back to the forehand. Jessica's been throwing some monster forehands on the video so far, and I expect that to continue.
Seemed like she got pretty unlucky there, hitting kind of high. Should have filtered a bit behind the basket.
Yeah. Deann not quite executing on that. It's tough to get a forehand upshot to stick on this screen. It's pretty severely sloped right to left, and it's very hard pan dirt. And this tournament, of course, was filmed in the summertime, and you can see that reaction. And lucky to stop there. It's very hot, and the ground is very hard.
Yeah, these girls are getting pretty unlucky with the rollaways down that back side of the green, but they'll all have a good look at the putt from down there.
Jessica just off with that Annie bid. She's been going to that Annie putt throughout the entire event. Footing on these uphill putts can be tricky too, as this one comes just off, and that's a terrible reaction. You see her just kind of shrug there, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, that's super brutal. That was a decent bid and just took a terrible little roll away all the way back to... That was a good putt, though.
Looks like the cleanups happened after that. Hole 18, this is a very difficult hole. Par 4, 600 feet, but beyond the distance, you have to find a landing zone off the tee. And then we have this tremendous uphill shot from that short pin position that a lot of people are trying to get to. Some aggressive people can try to get to that second level past the creek off the tee, but it's a difficult shot. Courtney's now throwing. Looks like she finds a landing zone.
Yeah, that is an ideal spot to be off of the tee.
Looks like just a little bit of that ceiling caught there. And Stevie, talk about scrambling on this hole if you're out of position.
Yeah, so ideally you want to land anywhere in the area of that tee pad, I believe like Courtney did, and from there's just a wall of trees that it looks like Deann has attempted to get up and down from, but it is so brutal. Even if you go and try to approach that wall of dirt and trees, there's a casual OB that you'll have to take relief off of. It's just it's a really difficult hole to scramble from if you're not in a perfect position. And that right there was a great shot. She's in a good spot to get up and down for, I believe, par.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's just so difficult if you're not in a perfect position and you don't get a perfect second shot. Just sometimes getting up on that shelf on this hole can feel like you spend so many shots trying to execute. And if you're out of position, it will punish you over and over and over again.
Definitely. Going left or right off that tee and not really staying in the middle and giving yourself a chance. It's making it really, really tough on yourself, but looks like they're getting up there. They're getting some pretty decent shots up on the top of the shelf, and then you get to see this big gap that leads you right to the basket.
So Kona's flex forehand has done pretty well. That side is within about 25 feet of the basket. Jessica hitting something early. Definitely not feeling it right now. Courtney scoots up there pretty good. She's going to be about circle's edge. Definitely a chance to hit a putt and stop the bleeding. Another good approach shot. Once you do get up on this second shelf, you can see that there are some gaps to be had, even if you're not quite in the fairway. That's why it's so paramount to get up there in as few strokes as possible.
Yeah, if you end up left of the basket on top of the shelf or right, there's a way to get up and down, and I feel like a lot of these ladies have been leaning on that forehand to get up and down from wherever they're at. I definitely do the same thing whenever I'm playing there.
And we kind of see that endurance start to maybe already play a part. We saw some higher scores at Seviren Lang disc golf course from round 2 than we did from round 1. We saw an under par score round 1. And I tell you what, after you scramble on this hole for a few shots and you walk up that big hill and you have to approach some of those lies that are down in that creek area, you get up and having the legs to putt. I mean, that's a real challenge.
Yep, and these ladies are tapping out. They're getting to hole.
Yep, hole 1, about 300 feet. This one almost predicates a forehand. This one's actually going to be, I believe, in the long position that's to the right. The drone didn't quite show that. But all the forehand plays are going to be ideal here.
And that looked like a really nice flex out of Kona.
Yeah, it's probably laying about 50 feet short, but from experience, it's way better to be guaranteed a 3 in a position like that than to hit something early, because you have that extra intimidation, Stevie, of you don't start in a tunnel, you're throwing into a tunnel about 60 feet in front of you, and it's a small one.
Yeah, just like hole 18, if you're not in the fairway on this hole left or right early, it's scramble time. And that looked like a pretty good kick to the middle, so hopefully she's still looking at the tunnel.
Courtney's done this very well. She didn't quite get the skip that I thought she would. So a little bit unfortunate there. That is some hard packed dirt once again. So usually you see those slide right up there.
That was a pretty good bid from maybe 60, 70 feet.
Seems like Kona's just happy to take a 3 here. Deann pitches up. That was a good bid from Courtney a second ago. And she gets the putt in. Can't feel too bad walking away with a 3 on this hole.
Yeah, definitely. A par on this hole is feeling pretty good for me, for sure. I think they'll be able to walk onto the next hole with some confidence, for sure.
What colors are this? How? It's green. Stop. Whatever. I'll get another one.
Okay. Green discs in the woods, man. We're moving on to hole 2, par 3, about 260 feet. This one is maybe a baby anhyzer, but it's easy to get too wide like Kona was there. And you can play a hyzer flip or a little force over if you want, but if you can get about 50 feet short of the basket, it normally slides right under.
Yeah, the flex is definitely a great play here. There's a couple mature trees, the darker one there, and then another just a bit farther up that you want to miss. And if you're coming in on a good angle, flat to anhyzer, then you're going to end up near the basket for sure.
Deann's shot was so close to being perfect. It was just slightly too inside and caught that little skinny guy. And you can't really see that one off the tee.
That's going to be a common theme on this course where you hit your line, it looks great, and then there's a tiny tree behind the one you want to miss.
Yeah, and speaking of, I mean, this course, Lapping Disc Golf Course in Clarksville, Indiana, just to give you an idea, this day played just under 1,000 rated at even par for the course, which is 59. So this is a brutal woods style course, and it really punishes you when you're out of position and out of the fairways. See if Kona can jam this one. Just a little wide. Courtney with the stepper. And not quite enough commitment. That's a good comebacker, though.
But from Jessica there.
All right, looks like Kona is actually taking a couple of pars and expanding a lead a little bit. Hole 3, just under 300 feet. This is a very technical tee shot. A lot of people will play the overstable putter or mid on an extreme anhyzer and let it come out at the basket. But even if you wind up inside the circle, if you're too far short, that putt is scary.
Oh, that looks like such a good shot from Jessica that hits a late tree. Kicks a bit left, but she'll have about a 40 to 50 foot.
Yeah, a guaranteed par if she wants to lay up, though, and in these conditions, it's not bad. We saw MPO lead cards take some big numbers on this one.
Find the basket.
There's about a... Wow, that was a squeaky disc.
I've never seen one better on that position.
Yeah, what Courtney went through there, you either want to go just outside or on anhyzer inside of it, and you'll typically have a pretty decent shot. Kona with a pretty great layup there.
Yeah, Kona's pitch up was very well done, but even that showed you just how fast and sloped that is. The camera doesn't really show how steep that truly is by the pin.
And it looked like Kona was chalking up her hand there. If I remember correctly, these days were pretty hot and humid. So using that chalk on the hand for your putt, get your hand the perfect consistency to grip, not slip or pull it too much is key.
For sure. Hole 4. This is a par 4 over 500 feet. Extremely technical tee shot. You either want to land with the drone showed kind of off the left hand side. You might have seen that short pin there. I think it went up a tunnel that a lot of people will not be playing. Big forehands can get a little further up there. There was a little white marker where that short pin was. Anything that finishes just to the right of that is like a big drive on this hole.
Courtney had a great shot. She had a great line. It was on a bit of a too much of a flex, so it went a bit long of the fairway, but she'll be able to have another open shot. And it looks like Jessica had a good line, but hit a tree in the middle of the flight.
Yeah, that's one of those that you gotta miss. I had it squeak by that. It looked like it was gonna be pretty good. Kona here. Also, not to be outdone in the forehand department. She takes it wide of that tree Jessica hit, and this is really nice.
Yeah, that's a fantastic shot.
Very smooth. And Deann showing us the backhand, which can be pretty nice. I mean, if you thread it. Yeah, that's a really good backhand.
Yeah, that tree that's kind of leaning over had fallen recently and kind of opened up the backhand a bit more. And that worked out really well for Deann.
I couldn't quite see. Did Jessica get up there with that?
I'm not sure either. It looked maybe about halfway up the fairway, I believe. So she should be able to find this middle gap there that is in the middle of your screen. I believe where Courtney's laying is.
Yeah, flex forehand definitely is a good option on your approach shot here. And wow. So Jessica didn't get all the way up there, but she parks that one.
Yeah, it's a tough scramble. Looked like she was doing a patent pending backhand, trying to hold that angle all the way to the green. She got a lot of the way up there, but it's tough to hold that angle from where she was.
Deann, a little putter flick approach. Pretty much all you have to do there. Got it nice and close. Kona scrambles close. Ah. Courtney laughing that one off a little bit.
Yeah, she's smiling there. It's good spirits on the course is always a good.
The closest tree I ever hit was probably 2 feet in front of me. It was a good time.
Always a good time because then you get a chance to, it's like grapes. You get a bad grape, and you get another chance at the next grape that could be fantastic.
Moving on to hole 5, a par 4 just under 600 feet. You see it is a severe dogleg to the left. You want to shoot straight down the gap of the tee shot and get as left as you possibly can to set yourself up for another intimidating long straight shot to a incredibly dangerous green.
Yeah, this hole has a lot of teeth. You really want to push the backside, but not too much, and kind of fight with those fairway trees just past that big pile of brush. That shot is so fantastic from deep.
And it's really good. Kona stepping up. Wow. Courtney rips this one. It's a little bit inside.
It looked like Jessica got a good ways up there. Yeah, from the camera angle, it looked like she's in the rough on the right side of the fairway, but should have a good way to get out.
Yeah, she's on that right side, but it's kind of thin over there in spots, and she made good progress. So a lot of times out here in the woods, especially this course, when you're scrambling, you just want to make progress to the pin.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like Deann kicked and kind of went left, and there's a creek down there, and it's pretty tough to get out of. Here's Kona. Yeah, missing that tree and ending up in a great spot.
That's a really good shot. That's a flip up forehand with look like some kind of mid-range. Going to forehand because you want to fade into that hillside, and then having the touch to throw an understable disc to flip up to flat. And that was really, really well done. This is where some of these professionals can show, you guys at home, part of that decision-making process of just playing golf. Definitely what choice of shot you make has a lot to do with, what is the landing area like, what line are you trying to hit, because not just the beginning of the flight, but how is the disc going to end up is a big consideration on a course like this.
Just like Jessica's shot there, she had so much touch with that backhand, ended it on, and matched it with the undulation of the green, and just smoothed it right up to the pin, just like Deann did there. It was a great executed shot.
So I think a couple of these players will have a chance at par. Courtney gets a good bid. It's a good stop, too.
These are all great putts because that backside of the green is pretty treacherous. If you miss even by a hair and roll away, you're going to end up 50, 60.
hole 5, in my opinion, one of the better holes in the course, leading into hole 6, which kind of is, I would say, one of the signature holes here at Lapping Park. It's 330 uphill, but it plays like 400, probably 25 feet uphill, and you want to thread it through a gap, land somewhere by that park bench, and you'll see a lot of shots end up on that left side, but that's the better bailout zone. But definitely a beautiful hole as you step up to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is an amazing hole. It's very picturesque, just something you step up to and you really want to get up to the basket. You can't really see the basket, but you know
Coming for ya.
if you hit this gap way up the hill, just like Deann and Jessica did, then you'll be able to probably have a pretty great bit at it.
Yeah, Deann was just a fraction low, but man, her line could not have been more perfect. This is a tough forehand.
Okay.
Looks like Kona's in some trouble. You can almost see her. It's back there in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, and it's fortunate that most of them are on the left side of the fairway. That right side is way down in the creek.
Jessica trying to dry off the disc. Lots of sweat, dirt becomes a problem. I believe this is a Sonic she's been throwing a lot this tournament. Puts it right by the basket. Here's a made putt.
Nice putt from Kona.
Yeah, I believe that was for 4.
Yeah, I believe so after her scramble from the Sasquatch zone.
Pretty sure Deann takes a par there. All right, hole 7. This 6 is tough. 7 is maybe more tough. I'm not sure. Probably personal preference, but almost 400 feet. Very tight tunnel that has a ceiling. You got a pipe one out there, and once you get in that field that grass grabs, not many skips to be had.
Yeah, you've got to have an absolute laser beam to get through this tunnel, and Jessica just has a fantastic shot. She's got a long look, but wow, that is a great tunnel shot for.
Oh yeah, I mean, getting out into that open area pretty much guarantees you a 3, which if you could sign up for a 3 to begin this hole and not have to play it, I think you would take that just about every time.
Certainly, because I try and rip this hole and get myself inside the circle, and you usually hit one of these sides because this camera doesn't give the gap justice. It's tiny, tiny gap, and it is very intimidating.
I think we saw the same tree hit 3 times in a row there. Deann got the worst kick, just pitching out. That's all you can do. I can tell you that from experience. Courtney got a pretty favorable kick. She'll have a good chance to get up and down. Looks like she just tugged it off to the right a little bit. Kona having to go to the forehand. I don't know about you, Stevie, but I never want to have to be the one who has to throw twice in a row.
Or 3 times in a row, my friend. And it has happened to me on the putting green way too many times. But those holes happen for sure, and these ladies are professionals. They can overcome that, and I'm sure she will.
So Kona's looking at least a 5, right? So she had a 1-stroke lead. Pretty sure. So things are shaking up on this front 9.
I'm not sure what she was consulting her card mix about, but looks like Deann just kind of laid up for, I believe, her 4.
Get in. Oh! Yeah.
Look at it.
Wow, what a putt. You said it's a tight race. That was a huge.
Yeah, she played it perfectly. This hole always has headwind coming at you, and she just laid it up there with a little bit of ante in the wind. Just guided it perfectly right into the heart of the basket. No chance of going anywhere but in.
And that was a clutch putt from Jessica to, I believe, stay in the race for sure. I think that was for her 3. So great score on this hole.
Great par. That's going to do it for our front 9. We only have 9 holes left to play. Looking at scores, it's tight.
Yeah, we've got 3 ladies in the top. Kona, Courtney, and Jessica, and they're going to battle it out.
All right. See you on the back 9. Thanks.